Hello, one and all, and welcome to round 5 of the League of Europe Season 4. We are here for Division 2, and this week coming to you from Circuit de Catalunya here in Spain. So here we are then, of course, with 19 drivers on the grid today to take on a track that has become a staple in the Formula 1 calendar. And of course, taking us through is myself, Kvyat Zaka, and joining me as per usual is a man that knows a thing or two about racing around this track. It's Mr. Kvyat Verstappen. How you doing, buddy?
Hello everyone, and welcome indeed to round 5 of the LOE D2 Championship here at Catalonia. Yeah, I'm doing quite well. Very in seeing what's going to happen around here.
Yes, indeed. So we're going to kick off now. Qualifying session underway. Of course, 18 minutes for the drivers to put down the best lap time they possibly can. Of course, this track, I believe 17 corners, although it's in that ballpark. I'm not entirely sure on that. But let's focus more on the goings on at the moment. Of course, we've gone through 4 races already this season, and so far there's not been an established leader at the moment. It's very, very close, but at the moment M Short is your championship leader, but he still has several guys right up behind him and looking to give him a fight for that title.
Yeah, definitely Dylan and Rick both winning races, so they are not too far behind. I believe Dylan is on 13 points behind and Rick on 16. But it's Iro Packer almost starting a lap here, opening up the DRS, coming through to the long DRS straight. Let's see, in the Haas driver, you want to take as much of the entry curve here as you can. He does that quite nicely. And down to 1 and 2, difficult corner section, and now completed through the long flat out right hand to stay as tight as you want to through turn 3, and now down into turn 4, difficult corner as well. Want to get as easy on the throttle as you can, but not spin out. Now down into turn 5, easy to lock up. But Packer does that quite nicely, opening up the throttle through the left kink of 6, and now down to the 7 and 8 chicane. Let's see, does that quite nicely, bit of a wobble, and it's invalidated for Iro Packer, who keeps on going. But I think we might need to go to another driver who's in behind maybe.
Yeah, let's have a little look around then. I think I saw Ferrari was behind him, that's Spag, but he is not on a flying lap at the moment. Slash, we're going to try and pick up. I'm actually looking around for him, trying to find him on my... There he is, okay. MMA Slash going around turn 12 now. He's got to try and open up that throttle. Be very, very careful applying it. He's on the medium yellow wall tyres, interestingly, so different strategy call compared to the Haas that we saw a little bit earlier. The majority of the drivers on softs, but a few have opted for the mediums for this opening run. MMA Slash is around the final corner now to the line. It's a 1:15.4 to kick off the session. That's not too bad from MMA Slash, but I assume that medium lap is just a banker. We'll see if he can move up it later on. As we got a debutant, Lando Norris, not to be confused with the real life F1 driver. He currently sits at the top there, so announcing himself to the Division 2 grid. 1:15.2 is an impressive lap time, but we still have a lot of drivers and a lot of times to come flying in. We'll keep you posted, of course, as we progress through this qualifying session. It's going to be a nail biter. Currently Lando up at the top of the grid. We'll see if anyone can overhaul that time.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we'll have a lot of time to spare here, because usually it's a one-stop, sometimes soft hards, but for the most I reckon medium to hards. And as the drivers only get one set of mediums, I think it's a big chance we'll just see drivers getting track time on the softs and just trying to maybe set some slower bankers and just not really go at it for the first bit, and when I leave the medium stints towards the end of the qualifying session.
And I think that your point may be proven correct. Is look already in this session, you see these 3 soft times. They are nowhere near the times that were set on the mediums by Lando and by Slash. So it could be a possibility that they are going to sacrifice their early runs and go later on in the mediums, as you predict. You got M Short again, championship leader, also backing off in that opening run. I was watching Rick, a championship contender, wasn't there last time out, but he's invalidated. He is on the soft tires. I'm going to see if he is going to differ in strategy. Of course, qualifying is a bit of a unique dynamic because you can start on the soft tires here, but the degradation does appear, from what we know already, is relatively high. The medium tire is almost certainly a better race tire, but again, it's that ever important compromise qualifying versus the race? Do you sacrifice your qualifying to get a better strategy for the race? Or will we see a lot of drivers opting for the softs and trying to get themselves up to the front of the grid and hoping that they can stay there for the whole 33-lap race?
Yeah, definitely. As Catalonia is usually not the easiest track to overtake. Of course, you have the option down into turn 1 along the DRS straight, but into turn 10 it's maybe one other. Other than that, it's really difficult to get past another driver here. So maybe some drivers will opt for softs to get their qualifying and grip position quite highly up.
Yeah, it's going to be certainly one to look out for. We still have 12 minutes. Matty, what's going on?
He's I was on board with him and he spun at turn 9.
Oh, he's just about managed the rest of that. They're lucky enough not to be completely out the session, and that turn 9 can be very tricky because you're very grip limited on the exit of that corner, and you could be seeing spinners off there. These guys are going to have to watch out for. There's a number of very dangerous corners at this track. You see here at turn 11, for example, there you run over that curb, you run the risk of spearing off into the wall. So a very technical track there, a lot of room for error. These drivers are going to have to be on their A game. They've got to try and watch out, otherwise they could be finding their races and their qualifying sessions cut short.
Yeah, it's definitely something to look out for. And of course, you have the last chicane as well, turn 14 and 15. It's a chicane with very high curves and very easily to run over, as you've picked up on something.
Yeah, it was Lyronix there. Going around the final chicane, he was at turn 14, had a major slap of oversteer that went through the grass, was just about able to save it. That was well held, well controlled by the Williams man. Backs out on this run. Now I'm watching another driver here that's on the midpoint of the lap. There is Captain Chubbs. He's on the medium compound tyres at the moment, down towards turn 10 onto the brakes, then try and get that one stopped there in a second gear, short shift to third and find traction on the exit, little left through turn 11 there, just managing to hold back a little bit. There's a Haas driver going up to the line. Is that an improvement? I think that's just starting a lap there for that Haas. We're going to keep on board with the Renault man now. It's a lot of oversteer going around that chicane. That's going to bog the car down and cost them quite a bit of time on the mediums. There is Captain Chubbs through to the line, and it's P4 actually, so it's not a bad lap from him, but he's a lead away off some of the top times that were set on those mediums by Lando and by Slash. So Chubbs, with that mistake at the conclusion of that lap, maybe not paying too well for him. We've got 10 minutes left to go here in qualifying. A lot of times still to be set, I'm sure, and this kind of soft medium dilemma, Verstappen, there's going to be one thing we've got to look out for all the way through, because really, you know, this could be a track where qualifying may be less important and strategy could really come to the fore. These guys are going to have to make that, strike that all-important balance as we head into the last 10 minutes here in quali.
Yeah, definitely. One driver seems he's already set a lap on the mediums, but he's now seeming to opt for the soft tires. His MMA Slash as he's coming through towards turn 9. Very difficult corner, as you have mentioned before. DRS is open. And down towards the hairpin of turn 10, second sector split. He is purple for now. 4/10 up indeed, first gear, and up the third on the exit. Let's see, turn 11 and out into 12. He's very aggressive with the gearing, I've noticed. So maybe that helps him to get around the corners easier. And now down into the last chicane. Let's see, looks quite nice and tidy. And now for the last corner, MMA Slash, what can he do?
Up to the line now, DRS in order, and it is, for the moment, provisional pole position for MMA Slash, a 1:14.8. We're set, of course, we're about halfway through the session, and a lot of drivers haven't set lap times yet. It's a bit of a slow burner, this one. We're going to see if the times start to flood in as we move later on into quali. Do we have any drivers nearing the end of flying laps? Doesn't look like it. I think most of the drivers are in. The two McLarens are coming round to start laps, and I think we have a Haas going up to the line. And where's that going to go there? I'm trying to work out what one that is. That's Carmentis actually just started a lap and maybe invalid it, because that is not going to be an improvement, and still without a time in this qualifying session, so a bit of work to do for him's going to have to try and settle back. It's very quiet out there. I guess that's something that we sort of anticipated for Verstappen, but of course in the last 8 minutes these drivers are going to be flooding in for times then, and I suspect now that given what we've seen so far, I reckon in the last few minutes there's going to be a mad dash with a lot of the drivers going for mediums and trying to set their fastest times on that compounded tyre.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an option, but maybe some drivers will opt for the the software compound of Tire. So let's see who is going to be taking that gamble. As I'm just looking for if there's anyone actually on a flyer. It doesn't look like at the moment. And indeed, it's still very quiet. A lot of a waiting game.
Yeah, it's, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a slow burner, this one. I'm watching a lot of the drivers on soft laps have invalidated lap times, such as Spag in the Ferrari that I'm following now. He has a bit of a slap of oversteer coming off of turn 10. Just been able to gather that one back in the Ferrari. We've got a few drivers as well nearing the end of laps there. We've got now for a bit. Whoa! Massive slap of oversteer. He did amazingly well to hold that to spaghetti chips and just about kept that one alive. He is invalid on the lap though. Is pushing to the line a 1:15.1 it would have been, which would have been second at the moment. A few tenths shy of Slash, but there was definitely room to improve on that one, so maybe some encouraging signs as Matt TU40 now, who of course drove brilliantly in Australia and now full time, is going to see what he can stack up to in that Renault at second place. Again, just a few tenths away. Slash does look very strong out there, but even though we're more than halfway through the session, relatively speaking, it is still early days out there. You've got Skyzy now, is actually running down on his ERS there. He's not using that hot lap mode. Now he engages it, coming off the chicane now, around turn 16, opens the DRS and backs it off then. So maybe again, that's another driver that's sandbagging that run and maybe going for more of a run later on the medium. 6 minutes out and a lot of drivers have fitted that medium tyre and they're going to go hell for leather to try and get up the order on that slower compounded tyre that will help them get a better strategy come the race.
Yeah, and I want to know this for is on the lap, Lando. He's a debutant coming through turn 12, bit of an oversteer moment of 11 on that curb. Now coming through turn 13, fourth gear through there, nose down into the last chicane. Looks very tidy again. Let's see on the softs, what can the AlphaTauri do? Coming for the final corner, tidy takes a DRS open and he sits at 148. That's provisional pole position.
He is making quite a mark on this division at the moment. We'll see if that upholds for the remainder of this quality session, but at the moment Lando looking very encouraging up there at the front, but we still have over half the grid that haven't set lap times yet, so you can't really look into these top marks too much. If you look at it as well, a lot of the drivers on the soft tyres might have sandbagged their runs. Whether they go for softs or mediums later on is going to be a bit of a different story and a different dynamic to look out for. QVR Nico is nearing the end of a lap there, and that Red Bull of course drove brilliantly last time out in Zandvoort. Is that going to transpire over here? And I tell you what, on the medium tyres, that is some lap. A 1:15 dead, only 0.2 of a second off of provisional pole position for QVR Nico. That's a very impressive lap, top medium time at the moment, and certainly he's carrying over that form that he showed last time out in the Netherlands. QVR Nico, very impressive there, 1:15.0 at the moment on the second row on the slower compounded tyre.
Yeah, definitely a good lap and one to look out for in the race as well. Iro Paka now coming through the final chicane, and he has been looking quick. I think it was the purple middle sector, at least close to it. And now coming through the final corner, DRS open for the Haas drive. It's a 1:49. Wow. That's a quick time on the mediums, and he's up into P3. Hardy in mind into P4.
Yeah, and Hardy, of course, was just promoted from the third division, and that is some mark as well, going ahead of some very established drivers. I saw time moving up. M Short splits the two soft runners at the top there. The championship leader now showing that sort of pedigree. That is some lap, but he's being pressed still by the likes of Packer on their laps. It's very, very close now, and a lot of drivers getting onto these mediums. We'll see if more of them can get into the 14s on that compounded tyre. Iro Dillon is on a lap as well then. He is on those tyres there. I'm looking, MMA Slash is coming up to the line and it is pulled by some margin. That of course on these soft tyres, so he has stretched out there, and wow, that is impressive. That is nearly 0.4 of a second clear up at the front of the board, and at the moment MMA Slash compromising his strategy maybe, but at the moment headed for potential pole position out there if you can just hold on to it. We're nearing the end here in quali, 3 minutes out, and at the moment MMA Slash comfortably at the front, but just for the time being.
Yeah, definitely a good lap by him. There's not many opting for the softs. The top two seems to be going for it, and Captain Chubb. So other than that, I don't see anyone opting for the softs at the moment. So those three are going to be people to look out for. Now, I think it's Iro Dylan who's coming towards the end of his lap. Let's see what he can do. He's coming around the final corner. DRS is open, and it's a 1:15.4. That's not too... You'll not be too happy with that one, and he's into P9.
Yeah, I think they would have hoped for more on that one. The two Renos are coming towards to start their laps now. Nico's out the session, so he will start no higher than 6th on those mediums, and at the moment the 4th highest top man on the yellow wall tyres. Just for the moment though, hold that thought. There was certainly a lot of time for this session to evolve, to shift, to change throughout. As you've got Skiesy coming over the line, he's just starting a flying up. Hardy now out the session, so these guys now on the mediums that set those competitive times, they're happy with those marks. We still have 2 minutes to go, and a lot of the drivers that haven't even set times yet. Lyronix is coming up to the line, and Williams 6th heads up in his lap and goes up to 8th. Sorry, a little bit of a bug with the updating, but he goes through a decent-ish lap then, getting into the mix in 8th position. Maybe could have potentially got a little bit more out of it, but yeah, now in the last 2 minutes things are going to really heat up now, and I'm really looking forward to see what drivers can get themselves up there, what tyres they're on. As you mentioned, most of the field opting, I think there's only 4 drivers that aren't on the medium tyres, 4 drivers on those soft tyres, and they've got to try and get up to the front of the field, otherwise their strategy in their race is going to be compromised dearly here.
Yeah, let's see, Mathieu is coming for the final corner on the mediums. Let's see what he can do. DRS open. It's a 1:14.7.
Oh, wow!
What lap is that? And now his teammate, Captain Chubbs, he's invalid, unfortunately.
Oh.
Let's look for, I think it's Mrs. Skiesy. Bit of wobble at this turn 15. Let's see what the Mercedes driver can do. I think he's kind of given up on this. He's only at 1:15.7, and he doesn't have enough time. He's not turned his ERS up. So it doesn't look like he is gonna improve massively.
Yeah, and that is going to be bitterly disappointing for the Mercedes man, who actually now has just got a full-time seat. He was a championship contender. Rick is going round a lap there. I got the Williams drivers a little bit mixed up there. I think that Ling is going through near the end. I'm just looking around for drivers there. It's a little bit quiet out there. I think there's a Ferrari or potentially Maledictus up to the line just to start a lap. Just about managed to make it over. Still the top of the grid holding in formation just for now though. We've got, I believe, Lando is just coming around. It's just going to make it. Rick, where is he now? In that Williams. He's going round now into the final sector. 3rd gear. Goes it through. Glides it now into turn 14, 15. He's got to try and work it now. He's still in with a shot of the championship. He needs to get himself up there. Not a time in the board yet for the Finn. He goes through, and it's not bad actually for Rick there. 1:14.9 under that sort of pressure. I think that he will accept that. Chubbs is coming up to the line. Goes 7th. That's not what he would have wanted. Strategy compromise. He's got to hope now that he gets knocked out of that top 10, surely, and has that free choice of tyre compound for the race. Skies into the pits. He will not improve on that lap time then. Car Mentalist is going to be an X-Man up then to the line, and it is going to be a 1:15.1. Just squeaks it into the top 10. It is very competitive out there. A lot on the line as Lyronix goes up 5th. That is a strong lap there. A 1:14.8. We've got Maledictus round the final corner indeed. He's going to open that DRS up there. Where's the Ferrari go? He goes 2nd on the soft tyres. That's exactly what we need to do. Only barely missing out on provisional pole position. XL Ling. Now it starts to wind up there. The only driver not with a lap time there, XL Ling. But it's not competitive. He must have had to back off in the middle of that. Lando through. It's just going to miss out. It's so close. Up at the top, but not enough. Spag, I'm getting carry over to you here to take us through this. Spag up to the line. It's P13 only.
Let's see his MMA slash on the improvement. He's not for the second sector. He goes into the pits, but takes pole nonetheless. Look at that top 3. It's 21,000 between the 3 of them. MMA slash, QVR Maledictus and Landon Norris, all within a very small range of time. And let's see, they're going to be on the softs. Are they going to make the one stop from soft to hard work in the race?
It's going to be a bit of a stretch there, but they do round off the top 3 places on the grid. I'll leave it to you to take us through a very mixed up and a very intriguing qualifying session ahead of the race.
So MH Slash in front of Maledictus and Lana Norris, Mathieu, Short, Lyronix, Packer, Rick, and Chubbs and Hardy round out the top 10. Chubbs on the softs there. Then we have Nico, Kermentelis, Spack, Ryan, Dylan, unfortunately 15th only, Ben JS, 17th SkyAC, 18th JSD, and 19th with Exaling. And he'll be rounding off the grid here at Spain.
Yes, so that is the end of a bit of a slow burner in qualifying, but my word, it's shot to life right at the end. Now, I think that the man that's really been compromised by this is none other than Captain Chubbs, starting down 9th place, I believe, on the soft tyres. So a big start from the Rhino man is needed. Otherwise, he's got a long day ahead of him. Looks nice and dry, sunny for the race. So the strategy complexion isn't going to change much from what these guys already know. But yeah, a good race surely to look forward to. Catalonia hopefully is going to produce a good one then, as we're now just seconds away. The race will get underway, and well, I'm going to you, Verstappen, because I'm very much looking forward to this one.
Yeah, definitely am as well, and could obviously show a variation of strategies outside the top 10 as well. People could opt for the soft, mediums, or hards really. Depending on what they are looking for in the beginning stage or at the end of the race.
Yes, indeed. Now we're going to look to see how all the strategies unfold ahead of this one now, as we're just seconds away. The final tyre choices will be selected, of course, for those outside the top 10, and that can be very crucial. They will obviously have a free choice of tyres. It looks like the top 3 all on those soft tyres, but further back then a whole line of medium runners, if they can keep pace with that top 3 early on in the race, well, personally, your top 3 at the moment, they could be in for a very long day, and the likes of Matt TU40 and Eb Short could be the men that really come to the fore in this one and challenge for that race win.
Yeah, and take note as well of Lyronix. He's had a great qualifying for his debut race so far. He's third of the medium runner, so he'll be happy with that. As let's see outside the top 10, what are the strategies there? We have 5 people on the hard and 4 people on the medium, so quite split even there, as far as can be. We have QVR, Nico, XL Ryan, Iro, Dylan, Ben JS, and JSD opting for the hards. So the Red Bulls and the Racing Points going for the same strategy there, along with the Alfa Romeo. Then we have Kermentelis and Spack on the mediums, and further down at the back of the grid we have SkyAC in 17th on mediums and Exaling as well on the mediums.
Yeah, quite a variation outside that top 10. There's the AWS graphic there. Both of them showing 2 stops, but I reckon that the majority of the drivers are going to be pushing for a potential 1-stop strategy, but except maybe those on the soft tyres. If they want to make that work, and really it's their best shot in this race, they have to really try and eke that out, because particularly on the hards at the end, if they go for that strategy, they're going to be in puncture territory. It's such a risky strategy to pull off, but absolutely vital if they want any chance of getting strong points here today.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be looking around for pit stops for lap 8, 9 maybe for the soft runners, and then for the mediums I think we'll have to see like lap 11. The first ones come in and the late ones may go to like 14. So a bit of a variation for that. But yeah, the cars are now lining up towards the grid. And Mitch Slash from Paul. Let's see how he gets away.
Yeah, that all-important run towards turn 1 is a fairly long run, so the initial getaway off the line is very important. Try and make the difference as now they all begin to tail off of it. XL Leg Championship contender the last 2 seasons, bringing up the rear of the field on this occasion on those mediums. We'll see if he can progress through some of the hard runners early on as he takes his place at the back. But it is at the front. MMA Slash Maledictus, that's your front row. Ahead of what hopefully will be an enthralling Spanish Grand Prix, as it's now just seconds away. Slash Maledictus, Lando, Matt TU40, they're your first 2 rows there. They're going to be the ones fighting for that top position, heading towards the first few corners, but it seems like we may have a bit of a bug. I'm not sure what's going on there. As now, in fact, the lights start to come on there. We are at 4, 5 lights! And the Spanish Grand Prix is underway. It was a great jump off the line from Maledictus. Does he keep that pace going through the rest of the launch? They're almost going 5 wide behind him, but Maledictus has made the start that he needed. He's side by side and just out of MMA Slash gets into the lead. And a turn 1 there. Lando holds on. Lyronix, a brilliant start. Round the outside of Matt TU40 there. That's 2 very high profile drivers. He's jumped up into 4th place in the leading medium runner. Now looking further down the field there through turn 3. Is M Short there. Didn't get the start he wanted. He's side by side with Iro Packer as the inside line. Going into turn 4 and they are wheel to wheel, Haas and Mercedes, but M Short has to yield that one, or does he? He's back down the inside, looks to try and secure and consolidate that 7th place, forces Packer out wide, and watch out for Captain Chubbs. He needed a good start in those mediums, and he's going 3 wide almost, and it turns 7. They got to be careful not to come together, and Chubbs goes spearing off to the outside and spinning across the track. He's going to try and not collect anyone there. Wow, they're all flailing about, trying to avoid contact, and I think we had GSD, Leng had a bit of a struggle there. He's actually had a struggle start, but Chubbs going round early on. Disaster already for the Renault driver. What a frantic start to this race, but Maledictus got away brilliantly, beautifully, and he now maintains his lead. He's got Chubbs out the session now.
Yeah, he's putting in a wall out of turn 9, it
Safety
seems.
car.
So yeah, safety car indeed. Let's see, will these soft runners opt to pit or not? It doesn't look like it. They'll stay out, and this might only help them conserve the tires a little bit better towards the end of the race. It's, I don't know what's going on for me. There's that's the safety car just coming out. Never mind. That's just my eyes being a bit blind there. No one going into the pits. A bit of a timing glitch at the moment, but Maledictus leads ahead of Slash and Lando.
Yeah, of course, very disappointed for Captain Chubbs, but as you mentioned, this safety car really brings those soft runners into play here. They are now having that chance to potentially pull off a soft to hard strategy. It's still going to be difficult because I reckon those medium tires after the first few laps are going to be able to get those switched on, and they will be charging at them. Of course, you've got Lyronix who made that fantastic move around the outside of turn 1 to jump ahead of Matt TU40. Runs now in 4th place, has all those soft guys in his sights, and if you can clear them early on once their tires start to go off, put some cars in himself and Matt TU40, then Lyronix in that Williams van, the 11th driver, could be in with a really strong chance of potentially even picking up the full 25 points. What a start to his campaign that would be.
Would definitely be a great start for him. He's got away nicely, but one thing to notice, Mr. Skysy's gained 5 positions off the start. He's had an amazing one there. He's up into P12. He's on medium, so he needed to kind of get past, but he's done well to do that.
Yeah, taking advantage of the extra grip. I'm actually very impressed with how everyone at the back of the field managed to avoid the spinning Renault in front of them there. And in fact, it seems like pretty much all of them have got away without front wing damage. That is very, very impressive to get around that. And of course, you mentioned there's Skysy making that start that he needed. He's cleared all of the hard runners already, so he's now at the tail end of that medium pack. He needed to get a good start, and he certainly did. I don't think we're getting back to racing quite on this lap. Most likely will be the next lap, and we can get things kick-started yet again. But Maledictus grabbed that lead off the start. Now he's going to be on the defensive, but this safety car has really brought him into play. We're looking right now in the Ferrari at another potential contender for what some of the top steps up on the podium today.
Yeah, definitely. If he can make this tires last and make the strategy work, he's definitely up for a chance. And MMA Slash, of course, has been looking quite quick in pre-season. I remember in Britain, for example, he was very quick there, fighting for the top step podium positions. And I think he's not out of this just yet.
Oh no, without a doubt, he is right back in it. He is still sitting on the rear wing, just car lengths away from the race lead. Don't forget as well that in the last race in Zandvoort, which was a primarily Red Bull dominated affair, Slash was one of the only drivers that was really able to press them and just managed to put tension on them. He managed to provide that, and you mentioned that the speed he has shown already this season, he has looked a bit rough around the edges, but MMA Slash on raw pace is a very impressive driver, and he is right in this, as well as your Davidon Lando as well. He is right in that mix, and of course if he can hold off those medium runners and stay with the top 2, he's not out this either. The safety car has really, well, it's not affected much in terms of the track possession, but it has affected quite a lot in terms of how the top 3 on track stand in the complexion of the race now. They have much more of a chance now, and that's going to be very cheerful for them, but we're going to see if they can hold on to the lead as we get ready for the safety car restart.
Yeah, Maledictus will be leading the pack very slowly around this final section. Let's see where it goes. I think the normal places go next to the chicane, but he might go later or earlier than that. Let's see what the Ferrari does in terms of that. He's still going around slowly in second gear and up towards the chicane. It seems like he's going. Yeah, he's very early in the entry of the chicane, and he has been awake. Slash is not too far behind, but he's not got the best exit yet. And has to use some overtake to compromise Lando in behind as well. Lyronix has had a bad restart, and Matthew is looking for the move down towards turn 1. Can the Renault make it work? He has used all of his overtake. He's down the inside,
Careful.
late in the brakes. And that, without contact, make Lyronix stays ahead, but it was very close to contact. Very daring move for the Renault.
He's coming back.
He's definitely coming back towards turn 4. Let's see, is he close enough down the inside? He goes for it.
Ooh.
Lyronix keeps it around the outside. They're still side by side through turn 4, now down to turn 5. They're still there. And this is an amazing race between the two. Matthias pulled the move off, and he's up at the P4. What a move by the Renault.
That was superb for the first 5 corners here in Catalonia. Matthew Forti, a crucial move, a critical manoeuvre to catch Lyronix napping off that restart and up into 4th position, leading man on those medium tyres. Now he has the top 3 firmly in his sights. Slash got really caught napping on that restart as well. He's got to try and chase back on to QVR Maledictus. Maledictus' job is to try and break that DRS before it gets activated, and then he's in for a very good shot at potentially grabbing a race win here. It's still very early days, and I'm sure the race will evolve all the way through towards the checkered flag. I cannot look away though from this battle. Matthew Forti is not out of the woods just yet, and he's being chased out by Lyronix. This is quite a bit of overtake to put car lengths between himself and that Williams driver, tucked in behind, closing all the time, but unable to quite get through going down the straight. And I think the duel between these guys at the front of the medium train is going to be such a spectacle to look out for. They look very evenly matched. Matthew Forti now has a bit of clean air. He can try and get his head down, and we'll see if he can possibly try and chase down those top 3 and give himself a real chance of bringing home the full 25 points here today.
Yeah, let's see if he can do that. It's going to be a difficult task, of course. Let's see, he's been showing great pace all season, and let's see if he can do that. Rick is not to be ruled out of this, as he's on the back of his Williams reserve teammates. But replacing LR McCrew here is Lyronix, but Rick now onto the back of Lyronix. Is he close enough? Not close enough towards turn 10. Lyronix has the better exit out of 9 and will stay ahead for now.
Rick, of course, not there for the fourth race of the season, my apologies, at Zandvoort. He's pretty much been in the podium fight at every race so far this season that he's attended. He's shown remarkable consistency as well as Short, and at the moment though they are a little bit on the back foot then, with a few drivers in front of them. In this train at the moment, Rick didn't get the best exit coming off the chicane. Is going to have to try and set back there, looking for fast slaps. Does that come through for the Renault? No, it doesn't. So the top 3 are still making good pace. DRS now enabled, and at the moment there, it's a group from Matthew Forti down to Packer, and the medium train as all the top 3 are still together. As now as DRS comes into play, we'll see if they can all remain in contact. A few little breaks are forming though. Hardy has not been able to hang on there. He's 1.7 behind the group ahead. So we're seeing the field now splitting into little pockets after the safety car restart, but Maledictus still leads there, managing to stay in front of it, of MMA Slash, but now DRS comes into play. Does his lead now come under threat as we head through lap 6?
And I think he's made a little mistake for turn 5. MMA Slash is now closer. Maledictus is running a bit wide there, but it brings Slash right back in it. They've both used quite a bit of overtake already. They're respectively on 35 and 27% of ERS. And Lando looks better in that case, still on 62.
Remember last time out in Zandvoort there, when Slash chased down those 2 Red Bulls there, the thing that stopped him from challenging him properly was his ERS management, so he's got to try and watch out for that. They all conserve it quite a bit going through this last sector, of course, as now DRS comes into play. I'm watching that because Matthew Forti at the moment is absolutely flying and gapping away from Lyronix. If he can get that break, look at that fastest lap for the Renault. He is absolutely gunning for it. Up at the front, look behind though. I was just catching on to that there. Packer's looking to the inside of the championship leader in a turn 1 there. Can Matt hold it round the outside? Can M Short hold it round the outside? My apologies there. Packer squeezed wide into the gravel. M Short really did not want to yield that one there. Was very aggressive, just been able to stay ahead. I don't think Packer will be too happy with that one there. M Short coming under pressure there. At the moment, the championship leader struggling to move through at the moment and actually coming under pressure from behind now.
Yeah, definitely, and he's not been looking the best here. He's still looking quite good, so don't underestimate him at all. But let's see, as we're at the front, they're closing up the soft runners, and Matthew is almost within the DRS. He needs 2 tenths to get that, 1 tenth, and it's all looking to bunch up quite quickly then.
So
Ryan
Ryan
picks up time
picks up,
penalty.
yeah, Ryan with a penalty there on the hard tyres. He's got to try and play the long game in this race, but penalties will not be serving him any good. Look at Matthew Forti's charge though. He's actually up with them, and of course the soft runners are only going to be struggling more and more and more. MMA Slash has got to try to take advantage of this now. He is closer this time to Maledictus, but Malek gets a really nice exit coming off the chicane, and Lando's right there with it as well with a lot of VRS at his disposal. Is he going to try and close down there? MMA Slash on that though, and he's closing down rapidly on Maledictus. He's going for broke here now, closing up to the Ferrari, backs out last minute, has to send it behind, and they're all bunching up here as Rick closing in his teammate as well, who's trying to stay with it. Matthew Forti's pace in that Renault is so intimidating, surely, for that top three. He is cruising up to the back of him, and in only a matter of time, I think, before he's threatening them there. The soft runners are making those tyres work just for now, holding on to that race lead, but now it's going to come into threat as the mediums now come into play. Matthew Forti, second place in Australia, of course, with a brilliant comeback drive. Now he's in the mix already in this race, and he has a clear run there. The race lead just about a second or so away.
Yeah, definitely. He is looking absolutely rapid here, the Renault, and is he going to be close enough for a move on Lando quite soon enough? Not to turn 10, but he is looking very feisty. He has a little look even, but he was too far away there. BenJS, the other racing point, picking up time penalty as well there on the hard side, not having the great race so far. Skyzy as well, penalty there.
Now the top four is in a train there, and Lyronix is getting up to them there. We could have an 8-car train for the lead very shortly, but MMA Slash very close time. Maledictus going towards the pit lane. He is in, so Maledictus has bailed out, and he's the first of the leaders to come in. And we've got MMA Slash's DRS, might have just saved his make, and he's still using a lot of overtake, and that very aggressive use of it. Watch for Matthew Forti though. He's closing down on Lando. He looks towards that inside line. Turn one it is. Very, very late on the race. Can he get that one stopped? Matthew Forti. Wow, wow, wow. Up in the second place already, has a clear run at the race lead. He is flying through there, gets a cartoon himself and the next medium runner there. He is cruising up to him. Now Slash is completely exposed at the front. The softs are going up, and now Matt, and as well as Lyronix, Rick, Short, Packer, all these guys in behind are going to be the ones charging. The soft runners surely are going to have to get into the pits very soon. Those tires are dying out there.
Yeah, definitely. As Maledictus has pitted, let's see what he can do in the hard, and if he's gonna make the undercut work. Of course, those tires may not last to the end. I'm not too sure how that's gonna evolve, but he has to do some conserving on them, I reckon. As yeah, Matthew Forti still onto the back of Slash, who's basically out of ERS already. He's not been looking too good on that all season, to be honest, and it might bite him back now. As Matthew Forti indeed on the back of him. Will MH Slash pit? Will Lando pit? Let's see about this. Coming towards the chicane.
And out the chicane indeed now, and Slash pulls in and does Lando, so the soft runners now are all out the way, and now Matthew Forti has a clear track ahead of him. He is pushing. Lyronix has managed to quad DRS off of Lando, but now he's got to try and work and get within that range on Matthew Forti. The gap between them about 1.4 seconds. Rick is not out this one either, their third highest medium runner. Looks maybe a little bit quicker, if anything, than his teammate out in the lead. Now, where does Maledictus come out relative to the soft starters? He's coming down the main straight now. Slash is coming through now. He's got a decent buffer actually there. I don't think the undercuts worked at all. The hard tires took a little while to switch on, and Slash is going to get ahead. Maledictus barely jumps out ahead of Lando, so absolutely the overcut was favourable there. The hard tires taking a little while to get activated. Slash is taking full advantage of that. If he can hold him outside that DRS, well, MMA Slash could be heading to a fantastic result here. He's going to have an undercut on the current race leaders as well. MMA Slash has moved forward now. He's made the strategy work on those softs. Now he's got to try and push through on the hards, and he is not out this race when either. Stay tuned in the latter half of this race. It's going to get very tasty up there.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Indeed,
Oh,
Matthew.
Matthew Forti's round!
Matthew!
Oh wow, he's gone off there at turn 12, unbelievable, just caught the end of that there, the Renault's gone round, and that has completely affected the complexion, the absolute, just the dynamic nature of this race. Now he is completely out of it. It's got to try and pit surely. Matthew Forti from a comfortable race lead, they just threw it all the way. He's fighting that car all the way through. That is heartbreaking for the Renault. As Packer closing up on M Short as well, looking up to him, he's going to have to pit. Wow, that is absolutely heartbreaking for Matthew Forti. Does he have to change his front wing? He may still be in it. He does still have a chance, but that spin is going to cost him so dearly. The Renault driver slips back. That is so heartbreaking for him.
Yeah, I think he may have touched the curb then. The apex of turn 12, that could be very lethal at times, so that may have haunted him there. and he'll not be happy with that. He's 7.5 seconds behind Lando. He's not completely out of it, but he's lost about 10 seconds as Packer picks up a time penalty there, and Maledictus as well. And that may haunt him as well, as Lando's close right up to the Ferrari.
Yeah, he's managed to get those tires switched, and of course a lap fresher than the Ferrari just down in front of him. Maledictus may be struggling to get those activated at the moment, and he is now going to be looking over his shoulder, looking in both of his mirrors, his left and right, to see if that Lando is in the AlphaTauri. He's going to be charging. He gets a bit of oversteer off Alpha Turn 9. That's a very scary place to have a moment. He just about holds it on the island. We cannot look away from the leaders though. They're going to be coming into the pits shortly, surely, in just the next few laps. M Short looks to be on the offensive. He's using a lot of overtake, and Rick has used that as well in his defence, and will just about stay ahead. They're all closing down to Lyronix, who now has a great chance as well. There's so many contenders for the race win. You really can't pick a definitive winner at this point. Slash with a fast slap of the race, and that undercut can put seconds between himself and this whole train. As look at M Short though, he is now a man on the charge, and he may get alongside Rick. Goes for his turn fight. The two championship contenders may go wheel to wheel, but Rick holds an outside line, coolly seen off by the Finn, and he's able to keep in front. But M Short is looking more and more competitive as this race evolves there, as he's maybe looked after the tyres better than the two Williams men ahead of him. M Short now coming into play, and the championship leader hunting yet again to try and snatch yet another race win here.
Yeah, let's see, he'll be definitely hoping for that. And let's see how he gets on with that further down the grid. It's Maledictus who's finally got up the pace, it seems, and he's creating a gap a little bit with Lando there. He's gaining on Slash at the moment, slightly but surely. And he may have pushed a little, so he'll get on to that quite shortly. Lyronix is into the pits, and M Short stays out, Packer stays out, and the rest of the medium run seem to be staying out for now.
Yeah, that's an intriguing one. There's Packer's actually closing down on M Short. I mentioned M Short getting stronger and stronger, but Packer is not fading away. And he looks to the inside. He's going to be very, very late there. They could come together. M Short gives him very little space on the inside. And yet again, a scare. They make a bit of contact. Lando picks up a penalty. M Short got a bit out of shape going through two. Packer ran into the back of him. I think he just about got away with it there. M Short really being aggressive. And Packer back down the inside. There's contact. Round goes the Mercedes. Packer throws it down the inside. And M Short on the receiving end. Wow. Unbelievable. The lunge comes through from the American. M Short was not expecting it, and a very aggressive and feisty battle between them has come to blows, and it is M Short, championship leader, on the receiving end of it. He has got so much work to do, then that has blown everything wide open now.
Yeah, let's see, does he have damage? I don't think he has, but he's so far down the grid, it's not going to really help his championship hopes then. Other drivers might be looking for a chance now, such as Rick, who's now got a 1.7 gap to Packer in behind, who's now only just in front of Hardy Incrementalist.
Wow, this race continues to evolve. Rick surely is going to pit this lap. Indeed, the Williams man comes in to cover off his teammate Lyronix, who was in front. He is now behind, actually. Maledictus, he's managed to get himself between him and Lando, who's also picked up a penalty. So he's now on the back foot in this race now, I think, Lando. His chances of winning maybe slowly slipping through his fingers. We've got a lot of medium runners in, and now, this is fascinating. Could be such a key development there. Into the pits I saw ahead. Is that M Short? Yeah, M Short now in, and he's slipped so far out of contention now in this race. Now we're going to look for MMA Slash. He's going to jump ahead of these guys, and by some margin. And Rick now coming down the main straight there is going to be very close to his teammate. Lyronix just about gets hit. Lando looks round the outside of Rick there. They can almost touch going through turn two, and Rick just sees it off. Lando was desperate to get that one coming out the pit lane, but Rick just about held on to it into 11th on track. That could have got nasty, but he just about managed to keep it on the island. Rick threw it to 11th. Now his teammate sits up behind Maledictus. MMA Slash with a few seconds advantage up at the front. Now though, he's got older tyres than these guys, and Lyronix, Rick and the legs are going to be the ones now trying to chase him down, hunt him down up at the front now, as we're lap 14 there, 13.5 laps into the Spanish Grand Prix. MMA Slash, your net race leader at the moment there, but he is still far from done there. Lyronix, Maledictus, Lando, Rick, they're all still in contention, and wow, I cannot wait to see if they can try and chase him down in the latter half of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, let's see how that's going to develop as Carmental is now into the pits, and I think Mrs. Kaiser will go in as well. And Mrs. Kaiser not having the greatest race this time out. Let's see if he can change that while being on the hards, I reckon. And Carmental is still not out of his either, I reckon, because he's been quite rapid. I think at some point he set the fastest lap as well. which has been taken away, as well as Lyronix is onto the back of Maledictus. I've just noticed he's got fast, I think, towards turn 1. Yes, he is. He's now up at the P7, and now the hunt on MMA Slash will begin.
But of course, MMA Slash was also able to clear his teammate GSD, who likely didn't put up much of a fight. So he's got that carb to himself and the chasing pack, all important. But you can't ignore just the sheer rubber volume there. These 3-lap fresher tyres that are on that Williams, and that is going to be coming into full effect now. Lyronix now beginning to establish himself as a leading contender here today. Rek, his teammate, is right with him. Williams could be on for a huge haul of points here in the Spanish Grand Prix. They're both running so strongly, both in the fight for the win, even the podium, and they're still right in it. Maledictus, I saw a little error coming off of A. He's got to try and watch out for that there, and you sense now that the fresh rubber, as Matt picks up another penalty there, another blow to his chances here today. But now Rek is going to be the man honing in on Maledictus just in front of him, as now it seems as though the fresher rubber now seems like the medium to hard strategy is coming into play, and apart from Slash, really, these guys that started on the softs are beginning to slip back now.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that. Yeah, MMA Slash is absolutely wrapped at the moment, as you can see. A 1:18.0 as Lyronix improves by that by 10th. So he is looking rapid as well. Of course, he got that DRS pass, so that will have helped him on that lap, but still, he looks very quick.
I'm gonna cut to further down the field there. Spag now attacking Hardy. This is for net position, and they're wheel to wheel, nothing in it. Going around turn 1 there. Spag gets it all locked up, but he has the inside for 2, and is going to complete the maneuver. Gets a little bit out of shape, but holds on. Front of the McLaren, Matt T40 on his recovery drive, trying to get up to them, but Spag has made that move stick. A nice little move around the outside of turn 1, through into 12th, and there's Carmentos in his crosshairs, who's a few seconds shy of that podium fight, really out there. Slash looks very quick still up at the front there. He's maintaining that gap to Lyronix at the moment. Lyronix has got to try and get a shift on, because Slash is doing what he needs to do, showing blistering pace up the front, and currently holding on to that net lead as he now closes down on Ben GS at that racing point, just up out of MMA Slash. If he puts another car between himself and Lyronix, you sense that the race, the pendulum, might be swinging slightly towards the Alfa Romeo man.
It does look like that. As one thing to note, as the Ripples and the Racing Boys, of course, still to pit. They'll be on mediums at the end, or maybe even soft if they're daring. So let's see if they may be able to do something at the end of the race. Who knows?
I'm watching GSD. He's actually using ERS in his defence. Dylan picks up a penalty there, last week's race winner, not having the race he wanted. He's actually sitting in a DRS of Nico. They are the leading hard runners at the moment. Watch out for them in the closing laps here at Catalonia. They are going to be the ones charging. Now, this is an interesting battle that I'm seeing developing there. It's between GSD and Lyronix. Obviously, they're not fighting in terms of when the pit stops come into play. GSD still has to make a stop, but Lyronix closing up to him. But GSD is the teammate of the net race leader. You don't think he's going to step aside and just let him through, don't you there? And Lyronix is losing out dearly through this fight there, following in the dirt here, following nowhere to go at the moment through this very single file middle sector. Surely he's going to have to pull out a move very soon then. This could be a chance going towards 10, but JSD uses that overtake there to keep himself ahead of the game, and there may be another sector of Lyronix having to follow. JSD is doing great work for his teammate there, holding on to that 6th place on the road, and Lyronix has to try and find any way through, otherwise that gap between himself and Slash may begin to grow. Slash now closes up on Ben GS just up the road.
Yeah, definitely. He's been held as well. He's made a little mistake through turn 13, and he might not be close enough for a move. Let's see. He's got a good exit, though. It's got to be said. Let's see. Coming towards turn 1. He seems to be close enough. Matthew, another time penalty. And it's Slash down the inside of NGS. Should be a dumb move. And in behind, we had Lyronix getting past JSD as well for 6th place.
And he manages to get a car between himself and Maledictus as well then, which is exactly what he needs. He now can try and gamble and get up to him. About 2.5 seconds is your gap to your net race leader, MMA Slash, who's still hunting down, trying to claim what would be a huge race win for his championship there. It's going back and forth all the time. We saw M Short coming through, then we saw Rick come to the fore, and of course in the last race we saw Dylan really moving up there. It's just, new contenders are flying up all the time, and MMA Slash has shown such good pace all the way through this season, and now he's putting it all together. He's still got a long way to go there. We're only halfway through this race, but he is looking very good, has not made any errors so far. Started on the soft tyres, helped out by the safety safety car. The Alfa Romeo man still holds a race lead there, and now he's got to try and push away and keep Myronics at bay in the latter half of this race. That's the dynamic we've got to be keeping an eye out for. Myronics has got to try and go a little bit quicker than this here. He's got to try and get up to him. MMA Slash doing what he needs to do now is to go over the line, kick off lap 19. At the moment, the Alfa Romeo is doing exactly what he needs to do.
Lando picks a time penalty. An interesting developing strategy here for Ben-Jes. He is early on to the mediums, I reckon. And he'll be flying, as we can see, as Packer picks up a time penalty, indeed.
I'm keeping an eye out there. Maledictus now is able to get past GSD. He's still hunting a podium, by the way. He's got a little bit of company, though. Rick is still right there with him. Lando with penalties, though. Short, fastest lap of the race on an attempted fight back. But he's now so far down the field. There's Ryan's gone round, I think. Ryan recovers that car and now drops back there. He's managed to get it back gathered without losing too much time. But now he's got Lyronics all over him. MMA Slash picks up another position. We've got Yellows back down there in the field. I'm looking to see who that is there. They've just about managed to clear themselves there. Did you see any adjustments in the order?
I don't think I did. Quite curious to see what that was, but it may have been a little glitch there because there was Yellows before. So yeah, nothing to be seen so far. If we see something, we'll pick it up. In the meantime, we still have a bit of a battle as Ryan is still ahead of Lyronics, but if Ben-Jes has spit the last lap, Ryan might go this lap as QVR Nico, the race leader, is now into the pits.
And Dylan replaces him in that race lead on track. Very intriguing to see JSD's in as well. Now we're going to see how these hard runners, particularly those Red Bulls, begin to fly through and charge. So JSD gets it all slowed down there. Lando is up behind Rick. Rick, though, using that overtake in his defence, holds on to 5th place now on the road, as now it's beginning to spread out there. Dylan is the last car to come into the pit lane, and he's now going to try and use that platform to push forward there. Looking a bit further down the field, Spag and Hardy, that's still a close fight out there on track at the moment. Nico's come out and he's actually not as far behind as you might think. He's still within a few seconds of getting, so a good top 10 finish. So at the moment, QVR Nico on much better tyres, medium compound, of course. Now, with 14 laps to go, the Spaniard, who drove a brilliant race last time out to P2 in Zandvoort, also in with a good chance here though. He's got Packer now, 3 seconds up the road there. QVR Nico, watch out for the Red Bull man. He is going to be, yet again, a man on the charge.
Yeah, it definitely will be, and his teammates, not to forget as well, Iro Dillon, he'll probably pit in this lap, so he's one to watch out for. He will probably hand the lead over to MMA Slash quite soon. Let's see, the Red Bull goes into the pits indeed, and let's see, yes, he goes a bit wide there, almost hitting the pit wall, had to slow down. But he'll go on to the mediums. Let's see how he can develop throughout the rest of this race.
Gap in the front. 0.9 seconds as they come over the line to lap 21 now. And we had our last car, Iro Dillon, through the pit lane. He's another man we're going to see charging through the field surely in the closing stages here at Catalonia. Matthew 40 has actually done reasonably well to fight back. He's now on the back of these guys. Nico is in front of his teammate, by the way, by a few seconds, and now it's actually going to be very close. Skies, may just about nip out in front. And now also we've got Ling ready outside, and he gets through into 13th place. So Dillon, not the route out the pit lane that he would have wanted. Now he's got to try and get back up onto the rear end of the McLaren. Not at all optimal for Dillon. He's lost contact with his teammate Nico, who now has a bit of a run in front there, but Dillon's going to fight immediately there. He's looking towards the outside of XL Ling, on to the brakes in a turn 5. Can he pull that one off there? He's still there on the outside. They're still fighting it, but Ling covers it off very nicely there, defends that inside line. These guys are fighting. There's no more pit stops to make there, so Ling doesn't have any obligation to jump out the way. He doesn't have any encouragement even to jump out the way. He's going to fight this to the very end, but Dillon on fresher tyres surely going to look for any sort of opportunity to get through. Ling got through in turn 1, but I suspect that Dillon is going to be fighting back. We've got another penalty for XL Ryan. I'm seeing the same drivers popping up with time penalties, and with the field still very, very close out there, that could make such a difference as we get into the final few laps here.
Yeah, definitely, as Matthew is onto the back of Hardy, but Hardy got a good exit out of the final corner, so I think Matthew will stay behind for this straight. Yes, he will, because he's not using the overtake as QVR Nico fast lap the race at 1:17.5. And that may only get quicker. Let's see how he gets on.
Yeah, that, as you mentioned there, is further back there. Dillon is looking to try and complete now. He is through on XL Ling. There gets a bit of oversteer going through too, just about. Holds on in front of the McLaren man. There he has Skies in a chase down there, and a points paying possession on a bit of a recovery drive for Iro Dillon. Not the race he would have wanted, I'm sure, after a brilliant race at Zandvoort last time out, winning his home race. He's got a bit more of a mountain to climb there if he wants to get anywhere near that. But if you look at it there, the gap between first down to ninth is still less than 10 seconds. This is such a competitive race there. They haven't seen too much overtaking, but my oh my, a very competitive field. They're so tight out there, and the margins are so thin in that regard there. It is very close out there, and really the smallest mistakes can make the biggest differences here in Division 2.
Yeah, definitely. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Lyronix has closed up somewhat to MMA Slash. He's now 1.3 seconds behind, almost in that DRS range, and then once he gets into that, he might have a chance at the race win here. I may be able to check the penalties, interrupt me if there's any action. But MMA Slash is on one warning. Lyronix seems to be in two, so he's got to watch out. Maledictus has 110.
I'm sorry, but I think I'm going to have to cut you off already there. As you got Matthew Fort, he's got past Hardy. I got Dillon as well. He's running outside. Oh, Mr. Skyzy is going to clear him before they turn in to turn 1. And now, of course, you saw Matt moving up there. It's been a good drive given the circumstances of that spin, of course, down at turn 12. But really, a man that could have won this race by a relatively comfortable margin, now having to play catch up. He's now got spaghetti chips in his sights. But yeah, I'll leave it to you to run us through the penalties. We've still got a lot more fights to come out there on track there, but MMA Slash still leads 1.1 seconds ahead of Lyronix.
So Rick is on 1 warning, and Lando is on 2 penalties, unfortunately. Carmen's on 1 penalty, Spag on no warnings, Matthew is on 1 penalty, Hardy is on 2 warnings, Packer is on 2 penalties, and Nico's on 2 warnings. And Dillon, let's check that as well, because he's still charging 1 penalty.
Yeah, so keep an eye on that, of course, in the dying laps. Lyronix is almost there. In fact, if he can hang on to the remainder of this lap, he may just about snatch DRS. Nico picks up another penalty, so that's not optimal at all for him there. You mentioned he was close, and now he's just managed to go over the edge. Matthew 40, blistering pace out there. Is leading further down the field. There we have Packer going through on Exo Hardy, who yet again loses out there on track there. And Packer, the American in the Haas, gets through, trying to back up his teammate Carmentos, so not mentioned him much. He's driving a good race, has now length down the inside. Oh, Mr. Skyzy gets through on the Mercedes. The McLaren up in the 13th, but still trying to get up to the points paying positions. A few swaps of places out there on the track, but we cannot ignore now the fight for the win is on. Lyronix has slowly but surely reined in the leading Alfa Romeo, and now has a clear shot at the race win here out on track there. He has much more ERS to use as well, so all the advantages now. The pendulum swings back towards the Williams man. Williams, as we mentioned, on for a brilliant result here, and Lyronix is chasing it down. He's just 6 tenths away from the race leader. What a remarkable drive this would be. Hello, Lyronix now chasing down the pole sitter. Can he possibly get through? He's still in with a great chance of winning this race.
Yeah, let's see, I'm just double checking if they don't have any penalties. No, they don't. Both on 2 warnings at the moment, so they gotta watch out. JSD picking up a time penalty at the back of the grid. But yeah, in the meantime, Rick is onto the back of Maledictus. Is he going to be close enough towards turn 1? Maledictus going defensive towards the inside. Rick round the outside. Can he make this one stick? He's late on the brakes. Let's see. Gets a little bit of call out on the curb there. Maledictus keeps the 3rd place for now.
Maledictus defends well, but Rick coming back at him again towards turn 4, looks towards that inside line. It's going to get level with him on the brakes. There's contact between them now. Maledictus, the Ferrari, running out wide. They got to be careful not to come to blows there. The Ferrari still has the inside line, but the Williams breaks very late in the 5 there. We saw this move from Matthew 40 early on in the race, and Rick this time has gone through. He's backing up his teammate, and he is up onto the podium with a nightmare race for him short. That could be so crucial. Rick P3, can Maledictus possibly fight it back there? The dirty air is now hampering the Ferrari driver, and he has to settle in behind. Rick, critical move. He now occupies that 3rd place on the road. Of course, we'll see if penalties do affect things out there, but now we turn our heads back towards your 2 race leaders, and currently Lyronix is reining him in, and with a lot more ERS to use, he just needs a good exit there. Slash doesn't get an amazing exit, I don't think. Lyronix now immediately on the overtake there. He may be gunning for this. Slash immediately moves to block the toe. He's trying to cut off that slipstream for as long as he possibly can. He's gaining Lyronix, but I don't think it's going to be close enough for Ezzy. He's gaining rapidly towards the end of the straight. Slash defends that outside line. It's coolly seen off by the Alfa Romeo. He holds on just about into that race lead at the moment. Reg just about holding off Maledictus as well, but surely this is a matter of time there. Slash has nothing left, surely, to maintain this race lead. And LR Lyronix, the Leonis driver, now hunting down the race victory. He's just 3/10 away. Can he pull this one through? Can he see it through? MMA Slash trying to hold on, but Lyronix breathing down his neck with just 7.5 laps left to go. Surely he's going to have to yield eventually.
You'd think so, but there's still 7.5 laps to go indeed, and he'll try everything in his powers to do it as Lando picks up another time penalty. He's shown great pace, but unfortunately just not that clean the penalty. Nico as well, I think I saw. He's a bit struggling in that dirty air of Hardy then for P10 at the moment, but he's not been able to get through just yet.
Yeah, it seems like the Red Bulls hit a little bit of a wall then. The mediums do of course wear much faster than their hard counterparts, but we'll see if that comes into play there. We're getting towards the dying stages of this race, and still Slash holds on, but the straight line speed looks very strong for Lyronix. He's able to gain rapidly there on the back of the Alpha, who covers towards the middle of the road there to the outside. Is going to be there for the race lead. Lyronix, side by side return one, sweeps around the outside. Wow, what a maneuver from LR Lyronix. He's into your race lead. Can Slash fight back at him? He's using the last of his overtaking. Was out there. Packer's going off there down to the final corner. He drops back. Hardy now battling away with Nico. Is roundhouse hit at turn 3. There is barely any gap there, but he's seen it. Gone through. Nico through. It's all kicking off now. Packer's going off. Lyronix in the race lead. Nico ahead of Hardy, but Lyronix really the most crucial one there. He now leads out on track, and with fresher tyres, more ERS to play with there. Surely the Williams driver is on his way. If he can just see it through, keep it clean, he could be heading for such an important race victory here.
Yeah, definitely would be one to win on his debut. And he said, driven impressively, it's got to be set. And let's see if he can maintain this, maintain the car on track as well, to keep the penalties clean. Same goes for Slash as well. So we have Rick on no penalties as well, leaning in behind. So he's not completely out of it, but needs some luck for the top two to get any sort of penalties, really.
Of course, we have seen him in the fights for the win already this season, taking the win at Bahrain, of course, in a stunning photo finish over the line. I'm looking a little further down the field, though. It's between Carmenzel and Matt TU40. The Renault raining in on him, but is unable to quite get through just yet. Carmenzel's breaking that toe, doing everything he can to maintain that second place. But Matt is closing down rapidly. I didn't expect this. Down into the turn one, breaks very, very late and through. End of P6 goes Matt TU40. There. Good recovery drive, it has to be said, and he is through now, 6th place on the road. Carmentos with very little ERS as well, so I don't think a fight back is going to be in order just yet. Further down the field there, BenGS is up end of the points now, the third medium runner out there on the track. He is now ahead of XL Ling, who drifts outside the points down that McLaren. Not been a good day so far for the Dutchman, and not been a great season in general for a man that has fought for the championship through the last two Division 2 seasons. There's always a fixture near the front of the field. Has struggled a little bit more on this occasion. We look towards the front yet again. MMA Slash, it's so critical for him to hold DRS as long as he can, because there's always the possibility that Lyronix can pick up a 3-second penalty, and if that does happen, that really changes things up there. Slash is not out this just yet. Stay tuned. Lyronix, it is certainly advantage Lyronix up at the front, but it is all to play for. Slash barely hanging on to that DRS, but at the moment the Williams is charging, is flying, and he is hunting for a race win. 5 to go here in Catalonia. It'd be such a poignant moment for the Williams. They're chasing a race win, 5 laps away. Can he see it through?
Yeah, let's see. Slash is, yeah, he's really hanging on, clinging on to that DRS, I would like to say. 8-10s, 9-10s all throughout the lap basically, and it's gonna. You'd say it's only a matter of time before Lyronix drops him, as M Short picks up a time penalty in P14. He's not had a good one, and he'll not be happy about it today, I reckon, at all.
As now looking a little bit further down, this is in the midfield. Well, not really midfield, further up the field than that, but still looking at that trade behind Rick. Maledictus and Lando have done very, very well given the circumstances to stay in this fight really with the likes, but of course we know Lando has a lot of penalties. I think at least 3 or 4 that are going to be applied at the checkered flag here. He's really, with the field being so close here today, so competitive, he's going to be real up against it. Of course, Matthew Forty does have a couple of penalties as well, so you could be looking at Carmentless top 5. We also have Spag as well there. You mentioned earlier on, had 0 warnings, so in fact, he's not out of this either. The field and the order can change up so much and so quickly. Maledictus is now struggling a little bit more to hang with Rick, and Lando could maybe come into play. Just 3 tenths adrift at the moment. They come down the main straight there. 4 laps to go. We are ticking down the laps here at Catalonia because it is not over yet, and it is certainly not over for your top 2 who are still hunting for that race win. But now, crucially, critically, absolutely crucially indeed, Lyronics has managed to get outside that DRS. Their Slash is struggling now that he's lost out contact with that, so much so that 1.7 seconds, if he makes up another second in a bit, even a penalty won't matter, as Packer picks up, I think, his second penalty of the race. So the American currently just going backwards at the moment after what looked encouraging in the early stages. But at the moment, Lyronics leads the way. Slash keeping that pressure on, but at the moment, 1.9 seconds there. Is that pressure fading? Can he stay with him? Lyronics is doing everything he needs to do there. We're just coming up with 3 laps to go, and all he needs to do is hang on in there, and the race victory will be his.
Yeah, it seems for both Slash and Maledictus, the tyres are kind of dying off right now. I think Slash has almost lost a half a second at least this lap. And Maledictus has lost touch in DRS as well, with Lando and Matt chasing him behind. And let's see, is Lando going to be close enough for a move down towards turn 1? They're both very low in DRS. Let's see, if Lando doesn't put his overtake up, Maledictus still has that any bit, but Lando is trying it. Brownie outside if he's close enough. He's not close enough. He stays in behind for now. Can he get a better exit out of 2 maybe? Is he close enough? It doesn't look like it. He puts his overtake on. Let's see, down towards turn 4. He doesn't have the overspeed. And Maledictus stays in front just about in P4.
There's been very little to separate either of these 2 guys throughout this race, and now they are closer than ever. Look at that, Lando almost running into the back of Maledictus there, who is on for, Maledictus has been through the ringers in the last 2 seasons in Division 2 there. He's really not had much luck, and I think even a 4th place finish would do just nicely for him. And of course the 2 cars behind him do have some penalties, I do believe, that have to be applied, so he's still hunting down for P4. He's just got to try and watch out that he doesn't get caught up in any sort of incidents in the last 2 laps, as yet Matthew Forty had a very late lunge at Lando. That was never going to come off though, and he's has to back off eventually. Carmentless is right there with him. Spag is closing up. Nico is few seconds off the back, so he might not be able to get himself into contention in that fight. One thing that I'm not ruling out, look at the 2nd and 3rd. You got Rick, he is chasing down rather quickly on Slash, as no tires do begin to die off. Maledictus trying to hang on, and it looks like he does have enough of a buffer on Lando this time. No defensive manoeuvres needed towards turn 1. The Portuguese in the Ferrari just holds on to that 4th place. Rick picks up a penalty, just I mentioned him closing down. As further down the field there, we have Dylan. He breezes past Hardy on the main straight. He now running inside the top 10. Makes a little bit of an error, but holds on to that 10th place. But Rick now with a penalty there. Maledictus is within 2 seconds of him, so he's managed to hang with him. And if he's able to just about avoid coming into contact with Lando, there could be a podium in order for Maledictus if he could just hold on to it there. Rick potentially making a critical error at the dying stages of this race. Now the Williams man looked like he was on for a podium at the moment. Now he's going to have to really fight for it. The gap between them 2.3 seconds with a lap and a half left to go.
Well, before I get your hopes up, Maledictus does have a penalty, as I've noted before, so I don't think, unless Rick gets another penalty somehow, Male is going to get that. One thing to note, Spag is on for a P4 as it stands, so he has really been clean, and kind of used to it from him this season. Let's see if he can get that done, as Lando's really onto the back of Maledictus. Now coming for the final corner for the penultimate time. Let's see, is Lando close enough? Is Matt going to try anything? Lando closing up to the back of the Ferrari down towards turn 1. Is he close enough? Is he going to make the move stick? Brownie outside. Wow. He does look like he has the move stick there. Maledictus trying to come back at him through turn 3. What's happening? And Matt, indeed, down the inside of turn 3. He's going to get past. I think Maledictus trying to fight it still. Brownie outside, but Matt has completed the move. And Carmental is not far away either. Is he down the inside of turn 5? That's a late lunge. They just about keep each other alive, but it was very late there from the Haas driver, and Spack looking on to the back of this, just sitting in behind for now. Let's see if he can make a move as well, as Rick is still close to the back of Slash. Is he going to go for a move down in turn 10? Slash goes very defensive, and the switchback maybe on for the Williams. Let's see, is he close enough as Carmentalist and Maledictus go side by
contact!
side?
They spear off to the outside! Oh my! They've come together with just a sector to go, and it's heartbreak for the pair of them. So now, up to the line, Lyronix, what a drive! He is comfortably in front at the checkered flag at the end, as now we're looking now for second place. MMA Slash coming up to the line now. It's got penalties galore as we come through. Slash holds on to it there. Mala has gone completely now, I think. Spag, as you mentioned, gets fourth there. Mala ditches with a puncture over the line, loses out in the end, and it's heartbreak at the 10th. Dylan gets 7th, Hardy gets 6th. Wow, what a turnaround on the final lap here.
I don't know what's happened to Mala, because he's, for me, I don't know if that's the same for you, but he's dropping down the field.
Oh, yeah.
Very odd. It doesn't seem like that, and he may have to appeal that, because I think he was on for a top 6 or 7 finish there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit gobsmacked by that final lap. They were all kicked off down there through the field, but of course, Lyronix, the absolutely superb drive to the win. Spag gets the Driver of the Day award for the game. Certainly managed to keep things clean, keep his nose out of trouble, and in the end was rewarded with a very strong 4th place finish. There's your podium though. It is Lyronix on the top step there, and ahead of Slash, who to his credit made that strategy work as well as he possibly could have. I think 2nd place is the maximum for him. Rick maybe could have snatched that P2 if a few things had just went differently. He settles for 3rd here today, but that is good for his championship hopes there. But at the moment, it's a great day for Williams. 2 cars on the podium, and Lyronix with that race win there. Critical for their chances there. The German man comes out on top here in Spain. I'll leave it to you, Verstappen, to run us through the results.
So Lyronix picking up the win on his debut. Fantastic drive by the German. Slash in 2nd and Rick rounding off the podium position. Spack, very impressive clean drive from P13 to P4. That's amazing from him. Matthew Love pace in P5. Axel Hardy, bit of a quiet race, but in P6 in the end. Dylan in 7th, Lando up there in 8th, Carmentalist in 9th, Nico rounding up the top 10, then Axel Ling 11th, and then a bit of a heartbreak race for M Shore round after points, still 1 point in there. So that's at least something to salvage from this. Out of the points we have Ben JS, Mr. Skyzy, Maledictus. I don't know if he's going to get anything of this penalties appealed, so he might jump up. JSD in 16th, and Packer with some unfortunate accidents in 17th. Ryan 18th on the lap down, and we have Captain Chubbs DNFing unfortunately. Fastest lap goes to Iro Dylan with a 1:17 flat there.
Yeah, he does take that extra point there. Good comeback drive actually from Dylan, 15 to 7. Spag though, 13 to 4. That is absolutely remarkable. Managing to take advantage of other things around him, but you have to give credit to him. Kept his nose clean, stayed out of trouble, and in the end was rewarded. He actually wasn't far off snatching that 3rd place. And if all that didn't go down on the last lap, he might have just managed to see it through. But Lyronix, wow, what a drive there. Of course, a lot of his rivals did fall by the wayside in the early part of the race, but really, he was able to just see it through, not make any errors, show brilliant pace throughout, and he's been rewarded with a race win. Superb driving here today.
Yeah, definitely impressive, and impressive to see him in a new league, in a new team, jumping in, just taking the win there. Very impressive drive by him. Looking forward to see him throughout the season as well.
Absolutely, keep an eye out. But that, I think, is going to do it all for us here tonight. The championship fight is going to tighten up, I suspect, with your leader not having a good race at all here today. Of course, watch out for more stuff from League of Europe through the week as well. Then on Tuesdays, of course, you have the Formula 2 races that I'll be commentating as well with Carmen. So stay tuned for that. It's been a very fascinating season so far as well. But yeah, apart from that there, gonna look out for next week. Don't forget, look out for Division 1 and the likes there at 6:40 PM UK time. And of course here, we've got Division 2 and Division 5 here at 8 PM UK time. Look out for that next week. But I think for now, I think it's going to be time for us to say goodbye. So, Abedzaki, he's Verstappen, and until next time, I'll see you later.